Goddamn.
Man, we are finally all done with all the WrestleMania festivities, but the fun continues.
It does.
There are a bunch of news stories going around. There is a bunch of crazy stuff going around. I'm talking good lord, creative plans for people, injuries, all this acquisitions, WrestleMania next year, NXT. We got a bunch of stuff to go over here today for you guys, man. As yeah, like I said, this is the aftermath of WrestleMania. So it should be a pretty interesting one here today, man. But as it always is. But man, good lord, what was The Rock thinking, bro?
He was thinking about himself. That's
Dude,
what he was thinking.
he really was, man. He really was. And on top of all this, it's not in the news today, but I figure it's worth mentioning because I told you guys he was a shit comic a couple weeks ago. In the midst of all this, WWE is apparently doing damage control. Did you hear about this? They're doing
Oh, that
damage
they're
control on the roast of WrestleMania.
heavy, dude. Like someone recorded the audio in the crowd during it. They literally took that down, and they're taking like any clip of it down.
So I tried to tell you guys he was a shit comic, bro.
It was shit, man.
I tr-
I read some of what it was, and I'm gonna just say that shit's wild.
it's
It's wild. That's all I'm gonna say.
it's wild, and it's just
It's why would you
I don't know.
try that?
I don't know. Personally, I just don't think he's a good comedian, bro. And don't get me wrong.
No.
I don't mind some like edgy material.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, guy's a comedian. He's not meaning the shit that he's fucking saying. It's a fucking joke. But the guy just sucks, bro. I
Dude,
fucking
it's not funny.
it's just
Like
it's not. I don't know. I tried to tell him,
you
bro.
had you had contact with like Andrew Schultz. You have The Rock, so I'm sure you could get Kevin Hart, and that's who you get. God,
That
come on.
Fluffy's always at the fucking WWE shows. He's literally always there. I
I
don't
don't
know.
get it. They chose the lamest guy ever.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Dude's ass, bro. We said it when he was on Raw, but yeah, I
Ugh,
don't know. They were running some sort of shit show, bro.
it
I don't
was.
know,
That was a
bro.
mess.
So Belle asked us to change the subject for a second. No, I'm
Okay.
just playing. She said, well, let me stop you right there. She says she agrees with Meltzer on something. You should agree with Meltzer on everything, okay?
He's always
Meltzer
right.
Meltzer is yes, he's always right. He is what we like to say the king of journalism, okay? In the middle of night 1, this man right next to me shows me a fucking tweet
A
from
deleted tweet.
it's deleted now, but a fucking deleted tweet from Dave Meltzer on night 1. Now, mind you, there was a news story last week that confirmed Rhea, Io, and Bianca was
Opening.
on night 2, and it was the opener. This fucking guy tweets out in the middle of night 1, Io versus Rhea versus Bianca next.
What? You're just saying shit, bro.
Oh
Which
man.
I gotta give Dave his credit. I gotta give Uncle Dave his credit. At the end of the day, he was right about The Rock the whole time, and nobody believed him.
Dude,
Fucking The Rock's writer was shitting on him, saying that he was wrong, and he was fucking right.
he was fucking right. And we actually have a little bit more insight into that whole situation. We're not going to start you guys off with WWE news today. Why? Because we got AEW news that will probably last us anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. Because there
And that
is
could take
one
far.
fucking story on AEW this week. One.
It could take us an hour to get through this, man. You never know.
It might. No, I mean, 9 times out of 10 when we get to talking about AEW, we go down like 12 different rabbit holes. But anyways, doubling down on, or not doubling down, further dissecting Bell's comment. He says he was right on 2 things concerning EO Sky. I did see. I'm assuming one of them. Yes, you say he gave them 5 stars, and yes, okay, I was correct on the other thing. Okay, because I did see he called EO the best bell to bell wrestler in WWE this year so far. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
Did you,
she is done. Yeah, in WWE, yeah, there's nobody. There's nobody bell to bell. Honestly, she's probably, as April 25th, 2025 stands, she's probably the front runner for Women's Superstar of the Year so far.
I would probably say so far. She's in there with that. She's definitely in that top 5. Easy,
Yeah,
easy. Probably number 1 right now.
yeah, it's definitely between her and Tony Storm.
Her
So
form, and depending on how things go, Mariah May might end up stealing that this year. If those cards get played right, she might get to steal it.
if I were to give you a top 3 right now, it would probably be Tony Storm, Mariah May, and EO
And,
Sky. So
yeah, most definitely,
you
most
get it.
def. Did you see some of those other fucking star ratings?
Yeah, I seen he gave like Cena and Cody a star 0.75, and then he
That's
did the
what he
same thing
also.
for Tiffany and Charlotte.
This fucker gave Gunther versus Jey Uso 3.75
Get the
stars.
fuck out of here.
Get
The-
the fuck out of
I don't
here.
know what people were watching, bro. Everybody was talking about how fucking good the match was. Gunther and Jey Uso was not that good, bro. It was not that fucking good. It was literally Jey Uso hitting a move and his stop and his pause resume offense. I mean that's
Ugh,
mixed with a shit finish. A shit finish.
a horrible finish, man.
Gunther tapped out for the first time
Please stop
in
this.
about, when was that Dragunov match? Was it 2018 or not? No, it was 2021. Yeah, because that was one of our,
That
our
was,
our worst booking decisions, or something like
yeah.
that. It was a nominee for it, at least. For the first time in 4 years, he tapped out. And who was it to? It was to Jey Uso.
Jey, yeah, 0.0 fucking star match. Get the
Yeah,
hell out of here.
I mean, man, the match was, the
It
match
was
sucked,
ass.
bro. The match
It was ass.
sucked. I
It
really
was just
thought
bad.
it wasn't that good, man. None of their matches have really, to me, ever been like outstanding. I just, at this point, they've wrestled 4 times. I think it's safe to say they just don't really have
Have
chemistry.
chemistry.
I mean,
No.
I can, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of you guys are saying it was fine.
It was,
I mean, it wasn't
no.
abysmal. I mean, it wasn't Jimmy versus Jay. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
It
I'll
wasn't
give him
Jimmy
that.
versus Jay. It wasn't like that. But to me, man, it didn't. Everybody was talking about Jey Uso finally proved the critics wrong. Here's the thing people don't understand, bro. I've seen Jey Uso prove critics wrong. Everybody likes to talk about how, see, when people think Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, everybody looks back to that tribal combat shit from 2023. I'm looking back to that Hell in a Cell, or even their match at Clash of the Champions in 2020. That was good shit. That was good Jey Uso. That was like, he was actually like cooking the fuck up back then.
Mhm.
This shit is not. This is
No.
not to that level. Like, I've seen
It
Jay
was,
cook. None of the shit we've seen recently even comes close to the stuff he did with Roman in 2020. To me,
not at all.
so I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, I mean again, I can see it wasn't Jimmy versus Jay. I'll give it
It
that. But
was
the match I wouldn't I wouldn't say it was better than Charlotte and Tiffany personally. I actually like
no,
that
God,
match
no.
personally,
I
you
like
know.
that match and a lot more than that other fucking match, man.
So yeah, I don't know. Gunther and Jay was just flat for me. It was like drinking a fucking can of soda that you fucking left open for a couple days, and then you come back to it, and it's just flatter than a mug. But regardless, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of the news. Thank you guys for joining us as always. And if this is your first time watching, you guys do not know how the show works. Every Monday, we're on here after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And every pay-per-view or following every pay-per-view for WWE and AEW, we are live directly afterwards with a post-show review. If you guys did miss everything from the past weekend, I'm talking last week's episode of news, WrestleMania Saturday post, WrestleMania Sunday post, and the Raw after WrestleMania unscripted. You guys can now watch all of that on all platforms. That is available for you guys on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live every single Monday after Monday Night Raw with Unscripted. And with all of that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do, or if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now get this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top description of this very video, where you can get this beautiful piece of merchandise. Like I said, bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man. Also, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, by God, tell the people what you're smiling about today.
Well, can't say that per usual, but other than that, man, I'm doing good. Just been chilling out, man. It was a good week, coming off of WrestleMania from a great weekend, and everything's pretty normal now. Looking forward to a Backlash, double or nothing, maybe, I guess you could throw in there. Just been chilling, man. Been chilling. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. I am doing pretty good. Yeah, just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Coming down from this, what's been a pretty busy WrestleMania week and all that good stuff. So coming down from that and just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Just yeah, doing my thing, bro. So that's about it. Nothing too much at all, man. I'm pretty good though. So as for you guys, as Durante always asks, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante, Logan, Bell, Rainmaker? How are you guys doing? Oh, my man Hunter. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys for being here as always. And yeah, thank you guys again as always. You guys know it means a lot to me that you guys join us here, man. Wow. Bell says, in her opinion, EO
Right.
is in the convocation for the best wrestler in the world. Period.
I respect that.
I definitely would respect that. I would definitely say Bell. Yeah, Bell to Bell. She's the best women's wrestler right now. I would say pretty close with Tony
Mhm.
Storm, but so far this year I would give it to EO. As for the best wrestler in the world, right now I'd probably say Will Ospreay. His
Mhm.
creative is not up there at the what the fuck is
There.
he even doing right now? Oh, he's in the Owen. Okay. Well, all
Oh,
right. He's in the Owen.
okay.
But in terms of bell to bell, I would definitely say Will Ospreay. I mean, not only is he I think the best bell to bell wrestler right now, he can quite literally do it all. Like he could talk,
Mhm.
he has intensity, and he has so much range. He could be funny. He can also be serious. And obviously it's no debate that Will Ospreay can wrestle a pretty damn good wrestling match. But I do respect the EOS guy for sure. I do respect the EO,
Almost definitely.
definitely. But yes, yeah, I would. That's an interesting question. Yeah, I would probably say Osprey right now. Well, what do you think?
Uh,
I'm
yeah,
stalling to get to
I
the
would probably.
AEW news.
I really am, man. But I would probably say Will Ospreay. EO's up there. Um,
Funny enough, I would probably
well,
say Punk. I think his matches just exude a lot of emotion. And
they do.
obviously, he's not,
They're
I wouldn't say, maybe
not
he I
2014
was going to
still.
say he's not going to, give you an agility and a banger filled with agility and power and strength and all those things like he used to way back when, but Punk actually probably is up there, man. I mean, all his matches you care about. And how is this guy 46 years old yet still manages to have the best fucking match every fucking show that he's on? I mean, no wonder
He
why
does.
CM Punk was fucking sitting there. What was he saying that one? This fucking guy, fucking CM Punk. You remember that? That there was a double or not. It was the one
Yeah.
where it was the media scrum where he won the
Uh,
championship.
fucking guy, see him fucking Punk. He's fucking.
It's fucking
Fucking Tony.
he's squinting his eyes and fucking CM Punk's next to him fucking laughing because he probably thinks he sounds like a dork. But yeah. Um Gunther yeah,
Uh,
Gunther's always been up there, man. Gunther's always been up
always.
there for sure. He's a solid he's a solid um wrestler of the year type of guy. But yeah, there's a lot. We're fortunate in a day and age where we have a lot of people that can that
They
really
can
do
go.
check all the boxes. So
They do. Most definitely. I wish we could mention Skinny and Okada. I wish we could, see Okada more. And so, AEW just got to use them very rare.
well, speaking of
I mean,
AEW, the one the one fucking story we have for
singular.
AEW today. Singular, literally one story we have for AEW, and then we're gonna get on to all this rock stuff. Okay. So let's see. So the one AEW story we have for today is regarding FTR. FTR and the pairing, rather random pairing, of Stokely Hathaway. After nearly 6 months off of television, Stokely Hathaway made his return at the April 24th episode of Dynamite. It was actually the April 23rd episode of Dynamite. So, LOL. Stepping out alongside Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler to manage the former tag team champs as they launch into a full heel run, fans who have been wondering where he's been got their answer. And according to Fightful Select, the idea of Stokely Hathaway managing FTR was first pitched last year before he disappeared from programming following his management of Chris Statlander, which I don't know why that ever went away in the first place. But Hathaway was seen scouting teams, including being spotted in the background of an FTR match during one of his vignettes. This wasn't some sudden pivot. The storyline was nearly finalized months ago. Plans reportedly shifted when the Outrunners gained momentum. AEW AEW decided to lean into their popularity at the time, delaying Hathaway's involvement with FTR. But now the timing was right, and FTR was embracing a darker edge. The company is ready to revisit the original creative direction. So far, Hathaway has not spoken publicly about his return.
Fucking Tony Khan. Hey, man.
What?
We're gonna start using these guys. So I know we had all these booking plans, which we still have all logic to do, but we're just gonna put that on pause right now while I book these guys. Bro, that man can really only play with a toy at a fucking time. What do you mean you paused it? Because they what? How do they correlate?
Uh, uh, so, um, uh, okay. Oh, all right. So, first and foremost, the first thing, Stokely Hathaway disappeared from TV for 6 months.
Yeah.
Why the hell, in the first place, was he ever stripped away from Chris Statlander? That's the first thing. That was actually a good pairing. I actually like that pairing. Not to mention, Chris beat Willow with Stokely as her manager, signifying success. And then they just broke up. Like, what? Where the
I don't.
And then he was scouting tag teams. Okay, and he was, in the background of an FTR match. They pivoted plans because the Outrunners gained momentum. What the fuck does Stokely Hathaway managing FTR have to do with the fucking Outrunners? Like, and then they say they decided to lean into the popularity at the time. So by that logic, you prove us correctly in saying that FTR is career riders.
Yeah.
At least they were during their babyface run. Now they're doing solid work by themselves for the fucking first time in about 3 years. So right there, again, the Outrunners were popular, not FTR. You did not have to put them with FTR to be popular. They were popular on their own. Either and that's talking about the scenario in case of you thinking the Outrunners need the FTR rub, which they didn't because they were popular on their own. So by that logic, what you're telling me is we were correct. Sir K was correct by coining the phrase career riders.
Yeah.
So they
The
wanted to career ride off of the Outrunners is what you're telling me.
They're literally fucking parasites, man. Fucking they got some momentum. Let's go work with him. Oh, they got momentum now. Let's switch the story. Let's go to him, bro. Every fucking time, Randy Orton, CM Punk, Edge, Outrunners.
Daniel
When does it
Garcia.
end? Daniel Garcia. When does it end? They're literally momentum parasites, dog.
So I will say, you did choose the right time to turn them heel. You definitely did, because it obviously is going to make sense with Adam Copeland coming back and reforming Edge and Christian, or Copeland Christian.
Hey, Christian. Oh my god, I didn't realize it would be that.
Whatever they're going to be called now.
Copeland Christian. Oh god.
Yeah, CNC, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna call it that.
I don't know either. But yeah, I mean, I guess Cope and Chris. I don't fucking know what their name is gonna be, but regardless, it's gonna make sense. I will say, out of all this, you did choose a good time to turn FTR heel, because if you would have turned, you probably would have. AEW probably would have traditionally turned them heel the AEW way if they did turn heel later that last year. They probably would have been teaming with Daniel Garcia. They probably would have got mad, walked off on him, and then next week have been Spike Pile driving everybody to the ground. So that's probably how they would have done it, knowing AEW. But it did make for a decent time, like I said, with Cope and Christian, and that whole storyline. But my question here is just, the reason you didn't do it was because the Outrunners gained momentum. Again, what the hell does the fucking Outrunners have to do with the with FTR? That just makes no sense.
Just man, Jey Uso got really over, man. Let's that Penta guy. Yeah, let's put him on the shelf for a little bit. Let's do something else.
Like what? Like what?
That does not make sense. Why
Like,
would you work like that?
hold on. We were gonna turn Braun Breaker heel and align him with Rollins and Paul Heyman, but Obafemi just got over, bro. Plans are halted. Huh?
Like,
What the
it,
fuck? Like,
it
eh,
don't make sense.
again, they did choose a good time to do it, but wouldn't it have also made sense to turn FTR heel, especially with the Outrunners gaining momentum? Because you could have had the
Yeah,
Outrunners win the championships and then have FTR turn heel and go after. Okay.
yeah, and you could even been like FTR was thinking they're coming in stealing their thunder. The FTR are gonna feel like what they feel like, what people that they latch onto feel like. They're coming in, taking momentum and leaving. Maybe FTR is pissed about that. They're the career riders.
Yeah, they want to be the only career riders. That makes sense.
Only
That makes
exactly,
sense.
man.
So, yeah, I'm that the okay. Oh, the original thing I wanted to go over here. The idea was first pitched last year,
I mean,
and
what?
yeah, literally.
Just
It wasn't some sudden pivot. The storyline was finalized months ago. The storyline was fine. The storyline was finalized months ago. Yet you did no teasing, you did no
none.
indications. Again, because it says they did give pitches and indications last year in the fucking fall, or damn near at the end of summer, and the storyline was finalized months ago. Yet from that time until now, you did no teasing, no backstage interactions, no
Nothing.
Stokely Hathaway getting into FTR's head, nothing. You just randomly trot him out there as the agent for FTR.
Just randomly. Just you know what they turned heel because very personal reasons with their life and Adam Copeland and whatnot. Actually, really cool turn.
Yeah.
And then Stokely's just there now because
Uh,
oh AEW,
what
oh
the
Tony Khan,
what the fuck, man? I mean, you can't make
just let
this
just
stuff up, bro.
just let Bryan Danielson book the show at this point, dude.
Uh,
Please.
he might as well, man. He might as fucking well. So yeah, that is the news on Stokely Hathaway. That is the news on Stokely Hathaway and why he is with FTR and how that came to be. Whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, again, rather odd pairing. I like Stokely a lot. I can't fucking talk today. I like Stokely a lot. I think he's really good, but I
Yeah.
mean the pairing with FTR just seems rather random.
Useless. Like FTR are fine on their own on the mic. Dax can get pretty repetitive sometimes, a lot of the time. But it is in a new
Yeah.
heel character that's kind of repetitiveness is kind of gone. So there's so many more people that would benefit from Stokely than FTR.
Like I don't know,
Oh
Chris
yeah,
Statlander.
yeah.
Uh um
I don't-
but what do we know?
uh,
What do we know? Let's just take Chris away from Stokely because there was two heel champions in the division at the same time. Okay, nice.
oh Tony Khan.
So that is your AEW news for the week. Um, so Kevin in the chat says,
What's up, man?
"How's it going, dude?" Tony Khan or somebody needs to tell Tony Khan the Death Riders is not working.
Us, the fans, telling him it's not working. To Tony Khan, he thinks it's working because we're telling them it's not working. Tony Khan has this mentality with the Death Riders that people don't like them, they're working. He has that exact mentality with the Death Riders. It ain't ending. It ain't ending till all in.
Yeah, yes. I definitely agree. I definitely agree with what you just said. And the Death Rider. Somebody needs to tell Tony Khan the Death Riders is not working. Um, yeah, we're cooked, man. We're cooked.
We're cooked.
W- Tony. the outrage, apparently, from what we heard, the outrage to Tony Khan is what he wants to see, because that means that they're a dastardly heel faction and it's working. Which is not the case. A lot of people would say it's bad television, and a lot of those people
Yeah.
would be right. But Tony does not see it that way, so we are
No.
cooked. So jumping on over here to your WWE news. Holy shit. The
God.
Rock. The Rock. We have a lot of news surrounding The Rock. Some of it is centered around his interview with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show. And oh my God, this guy completely, he says he doesn't want the spotlight on him. That's one of the things we'll go over here in a second. Yet, huh?
And Triple H always says the same fucking thing. He comes out every fucking special event. God damn it.
He says he doesn't want the spotlight on him, yet he goes on Pat McAfee's show, and all anybody could fucking talk about this week was his comments. Because, good God, this
Man.
guy, man. Well, in a nutshell, he basically revealed to us that there was no plan, ever. And the only reason he came back is right here. I'm about to read it to you guys. So, during his interview on the Pat McAfee show, The Rock revealed his Elimination Chamber return was only due to low ticket sales. What the all right. Okay. Well, we're already off to a bad start. Well, what does he go on to say?
Okay.
I got a call about a month before Elimination Chamber from Ari Emanuel. He said, "We need help at Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales a little low. How do we create an Elimination Chamber that people must tune in to see? Will the final boss show up?"
What a bunch of dorks.
I
Dude. These are
said,
grown. Okay.
I said, "I have an idea, but let me take a couple days and get back to you." So I call him. Me, Ari, Nick, and Triple H, we get on a call. And I said, the most important thing to the final boss isn't money, titles, fame. Been there, done that. Yet you wanted to go for the WWE title last year? Okay. Okay.
You had to get that, but okay.
Been there, done that, and grateful for that. The final boss wants your soul. What that means is whatever dreams Cody Rhodes has, whatever ambitions, you tell the final boss, and he makes it all happen. What does the final boss get out of that? Your soul for life.
Dude, imagine what the fucking FBI agent listening to these phone calls has to fucking hear, dude. The man probably hates his job. The man that's got to monitor The Rock. This is the type of shit he has to hear all day.
Okay. Let's dissect this one at a time, because there's a lot we have to read through. How shitty on Ari Emanuel. Let's talk about the creative side of things first. How shitty on Ari Emanuel. You have a guy that you appointed in charge. You have a guy that you appointed in charge in Triple H to run your day-to-day creative operations. And you call The Rock to get people to tune in to see the Elimination Chamber? not to formulate a long-term plan, not to formulate something that is going to, bring us into WrestleMania with the final boss and with Travis Scott and all this stuff. You trot him in for fucking ticket sales for an Elimination Chamber show that ended up being a really fucking good show. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. The final boss segment at the end of the show, was the best part about the show, but I would even say it was a pretty good show, top to bottom anyways. The men's elimination chamber was great. The women's elimination chamber was great. And obviously, the final boss, Rock and Cena segment and Cody segment at the end, made the show, yes. But why are we bringing him here if he's not going to commit? Why are we bringing him here to half fucking commit to something? And then let's talk about the ticket sales. Well, why aren't tickets selling? Is it because Elimination Chamber isn't must-see TV? No. That's not the
No,
case.
not at all.
Because John Cena was in the Elimination Chamber match. CM Punk was in the Elimination Chamber match. Those are two guys that people genuinely wanted to see win the Elimination Chamber to go on to main event WrestleMania, whichever guy it may have been. Yet, you're saying it's because of the ticket sales. Ari, why do you think it's because the ticket sales are low? Do you think it's because the show isn't must-see, tune-in television? Or is it because your ticket prices are too fucking expensive for anybody to fucking uphold for? What?
It's like, dude, I literally just seen someone on Twitter like the other day. Someone asked him if he was going to like Clash in fucking Paris or something, and he's like, no. And he posted ticket prices. They were like 12 to 1700 for like normal ass seats, dude. Bro, no one can go to these shows. No one can. It's not that no one wants to. Nobody can.
Dude, again, man, I don't understand. How do you not tell Ari, look, maybe our ticket price, well, I know they're not going to say that, but can anybody point out the elephant in the room here? I know it's not what they're going to say because they obviously love their money, but to call The Rock and complain about low ticket sales to the man, how the fuck does nobody say, well, Ari, maybe, just maybe, something to consider is the ticket prices are too fucking high. Maybe none of our hardcore audience can go to the show unless they're rich.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the case. And again, how shitty on Ari Emanuel to almost seem like you have, that to me just sounds like you have no fucking faith in Paul Levesque to the point where you had to call The Rock to boost ticket sales.
And way to scapegoat Triple H, because you know damn well they know it's the ticket prices. You know they know it's the ticket prices, but they're never going to admit it. So they're just going to say, well, it's not that no one can go, no one wants to go. Whose fault is that? Oh, Triple H, let's call The Rock. Like, bro, what? Way to undermine Triple H and just scapegoat the guy for your failures on the business side of things. It's not a creative failure, it's a
No.
business failure.
It is. It is. And you will have your businessmen on social media that fucking think they're in WWE's working on WWE's business end of things and nailing down all their deals, saying the product is hot, the product is in demand, the ticket prices need to be high. That's fine. You can say that, but then don't bitch when your ticket sales suck because
Yeah.
you did it to yourself. Again, and this is and I mean you look at this is something TKO or an Endeavor has. I mean, again, look at UFC. We talk about this all the time. Look at UFC. How many, how many, hardcore fans do you see them put the cameras on, for a nice crowd shot during the show? They don't. They
Mhm.
put the crowd on celebrities because you look at UFC ticket prices, bro, it's aimed
Oh, it's
towards getting celebrities at the event.
Oh, 1,000%. It's literally, "Hey, celebrities come on the show, you can afford it, and we'll show you on camera."
And in
That's literally all it is.
and in saying that, what is one thing we see a lot more on WWE television nowadays?
Fucking celebrity crowd shots between every, like, 2 matches on the most random episode of Raw. It's like, dude, I don't care that random football player number 4 is in the crowd, dude, I don't care.
Yeah, like you said, man, it is a very shitty way to almost scapegoat Triple H, and
Oh, yeah.
again in saying how do we create elimination chamber that's must see. So what you're saying is his shit is not must see. So you're blaming his creative, which for the elimination chamber was not bad. Right now,
Wasn't.
that is the front runner for show of the year
Perfection.
for me.
Yeah, it had show of the year, it has moment of the year. It
Yes.
was a very great success, and everyone was excited going into it. It's not like it was one of those shows where it's like, "Oh, the excitement's going into it's fine or it'll be amazing." No, the excitement was amazing, the show was amazing. People just can't go, they can't afford. I would love to go to SummerSlam next year. Will we probably be able to? Probably not, because it's like fucking 4 grand to fucking go to one of these fucking type of shows.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't.
You cannot, bro. You fucking cannot. Um, you know, good lord. They say be careful what you wish for, man, because just a couple years ago we were making fun of Vince's buy one get four, and goddamn, I wish those days would come back. Not the
But
creative, but just the
no,
buy one get four. I mean,
please,
my god, bro. Uh
please, please do a little, even just like that 20, like 18 era of ticket prices. That was fine. It
yeah.
was a little more expensive than you would compare like AEW to, but it would be overall worth it, especially now. Now, listen, product's great. It's better than it's ever been. I'm not paying $4,000 to sit in a 2-night SummerSlam. I'm sorry. That's just insane.
It's undoable. It's not even it's not even again it's not even the fact that it's like
You
it's
don't
in
want to,
it's
you
it,
can't.
exactly it's not even the fact like that's insane, but man, I'm gonna dish out the money. It's insane to the point where it's so insane
You
you can't
can't.
even do it. Like
You
it's
can't
just
even be like, "You know what? I'm gonna bite this bullet. We're doing it. It's worth it." It's not worth 4 grand. The
yeah.
Survivor Series prices were reasonable. I
Yeah,
will say that.
like look, pay-per-view, it's a big pay-per-view, it's a big 5. Okay. $400. All right. It is what it is.
That's normal. I
Couple
expect that.
couple years ago, WrestleMania, okay, 500-600 bucks for a good seat. Okay.
That's very
All right, it's
yeah.
WrestleMania. I get it. I get it. This shit, $900
Third
to sit in the goddamn nosebleeds and don't even think about getting a good seat, because then you're probably paying what, 7 grand for 2 nights, $3,500 a ticket. What the fuck is that? Yet we're blaming the Elimination Chamber is not a must-see tune-in event. Yes, it is,
and
motherfucker. It's the show before WrestleMania. And again, like Sir K said, even before The Rock was announced, we were excited for
hey,
the show.
we were very excited. It was a very, like, who can win this thing type of show. It was very intriguing. Both matches were intriguing. All them, like, dude, it was a very good build to an amazing show of the year so far show. And even like Kevin says in the comments, what a disrespect to the roster for basically also scapegoating them and be like, yeah, y'all can't draw. No, they can. Dude, this roster is able to draw crowds with these ticket prices. That's more of a respect on the roster than fucking trying to disrespect them and blaming them in Triple H.
If WrestleMania tickets were reasonably priced you wouldn't be able to find a seat in that arena. There would be no
No.
seat that was not filled with a fucking ass. That is how that if WrestleMania tickets were reasonably priced, people would be pissed that WWE had such a tiny set
Mhm.
because you wouldn't be able to fit enough people in that arena. I mean,
Yeah.
legit,
And
it would be so full, WWE would have been forced to have done a tiny set because every single square foot of that arena would have been fucking filled with people. The
oh,
product
easily.
the product is so hot right now. But what did you do?
It's
What did you do? You
yeah,
got
fucking
your 60,000 people, which is probably not even the real number. Um
no. I think it was
you
like 52,000 or something like that.
you got 50K people in an arena that should have had fucking 80 because of how
Mm.
hot the product is. And legit, people would have
Oh,
been
yeah.
pissed. People would have been like, "What is this WrestleMania set? It's so tiny."
You would have had
Because
to. Mhm.
that would have been your only option. You would have had to keep opening up seats because if tickets were reasonably priced, everybody and their mother would have came out for WrestleMania this year. It was John Cena's last on top of what was a pretty star-studded card. Mine is Damian Priest, but it was a fucking star-studded card.
Literally. It's like, well, I don't understand that mentality. Way to scapegoat and just avoid the ticket sale price debacle, which is the whole reason you had that problem in the first place, man. And they're not going to ignore it till the day comes where they can't.
And I know it's not necessarily Triple H, but like, how does nobody ask these questions on these press conferences?
Yeah.
There's
Why
a lot
aren't
of
you ask?
fan there's a lot of fan outrage about it.
Are the ticket like? Have you? Are you guys thinking about lowering the ticket prices? Your fans can't afford to go to these shows.
Your hardcore audience is going to feel alienated from being in live attendance for these shows.
Oh yeah,
Just how the UFC
incredibly.
fans feel.
Mm-hmm.
The hardcore fans, they feel alienated from going to the shows because it's $3,500 a seat if you want to actually see the action. And if you don't want to see the action and you want to sit from 900 feet away, well, you got to pay $1,000 still at minimum. What?
Insane.
And that's just the first story.
It gets worse.
It gets worse, bro. Also on the Pat McAfee show, The Rock reveals he made the call to step back from the spotlight in the build to WrestleMania.
You stepped into the spotlight in the
Yeah.
build, and then you just step right out. Thanks.
He says, I made the call not to be a part of it. I made the call not to be a part of the build to Cody versus Cena. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John and Cody. There are other commitments that I have. I can stop right there and that will tell you why. But
Hmm.
there are other commitments that I have, and I want to be careful that we're not overstepping. I can't get involved in the finish, but why? Or he says, I can get involved in the finish, but why get involved in the finish when the spotlight should just be on John? What does
Yeah, it should.
2025 look like if this man is saying he's going to ruin professional wrestling? To me, this is the anchoring storyline.
Thanks.
Okay. First, let's go back and dissect all this. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John and Cody. Okay. If you wanted to skip the European tour and let the promos just go to them,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I get it. I thought there should have been a segment very similar to last year, but instead this year with John Cena beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes and just absolutely leaving him in a bloody mess like The Rock did in the Chicago Rain segment last year and last March. But There are other commitments that I have. Rock, just stop right there. That's why
You don't.
you showed up to help your buddy boost ticket sales in a company that, you decided to become a part owner of, but yet don't really care about because you have
Yeah.
other commitments and you did it to help your buddy. Okay, and you have other commitments. That's okay. That's fine. But don't come in at all. You should have fucking told Ari, well, if I enter this storyline and I help John Cena turn heel, one of the biggest fucking heel turns in the company's history,
You're gonna expect me to show up again to continue that.
there's going to be an expectation. There's going to be a need. There's going to be a want to see my character. And I'm not going to be able to show up. I don't think this is a good idea creatively because I'm not going to be able to fulfill my creative duties. And and I have to be careful we're not overstepping. Dude, your whole run you've understepped.
Yeah.
Everybody's wanted to see more of you. Ever since this
Literally.
final boss character has been a thing, everybody's been like, man, what's one of the main fucking things we've heard over last year's summer and this year's build to WrestleMania, majority of it.
Mr. Rock.
I said
Mm,
it myself because the character
yeah.
was so fucking great last year. I said, man, I missed the final boss character. It was a good character. It was a fucking great character. You have to worry you're not overstepping. Why get involved in the finish when the spotlight should just be on John? I get some of that, but there's ways you could have went about it. You could have interfered, gave John Cena a head nod after winning the championship and walked off to let him celebrate. There was ways to go about it. There was ways to go about putting the spotlight on John Cena. Nobody said you had to fucking stand out there and hold up the title for him and soak in
Yeah.
his confetti. All you had to do was help John Cena win. John Cena's your brother, right? You were looking for a brother when you wanted Cody Soul. You were looking for, a brother. You were looking for a go-to guy. You go out there, you hug him, you raise his hand, you congratulate him, you give him a nod of approval, you walk off. And you let John
Yeah.
Cena celebrate with the WWE Championship, putting the spotlight back on John. You didn't do
Nope.
shit. And that's your fucking excuse? What?
And you want to step out to give John his spotlight, and then you just send out Travis Scott, your on-screen like friend and partner in this whole thing, and to help him. That's all people are gonna think about is you in that moment. Why on earth would you do that?
Yes. You trot Travis Scott out there, what is everybody going to think? Being that the last time we seen the fucking guy, he came out with you. And I mean, come on, man. I mean that just be honest, bro. You have other commitments. You couldn't make WrestleMania. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you should have fucking told Ari, I'm not getting involved in this because all it's going to do is piss people off because I'm not going to be able to make WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's literally what it was, dude.
Which
It's
makes
literally
which makes the whole situation even shittier because a lot of people thought they moved WrestleMania because so he can make it. You literally just moved it to Easter just to make
just
everybody's
to do it.
fucking life more miserable.
Just to extend the build, which you really needed. You didn't know how to extend the build, but you extended the build to do a holiday weekend that nobody wants. Nobody likes the holiday weekend. Like, dude, what on earth ailed you to move the show to when you did?
Easter. Eh, fucking
Easter.
Easter.
Easter weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone, Easter Sunday dinner. Nope. You gotta watch WrestleMania because that's what's fucking on that weekend.
I mean,
Ugh.
what a shitty excuse, man. Well, hey, I mean, it's not even a shitty excuse, but why the fuck didn't you tell Ara? Why didn't you explain this to him? You guys knew there was going to be fan outrage, and you know how I knew there was going to be fan outrage? Now
Like,
it makes a whole lot of sense why Triple H is out there on interviews talking about just watch as a fan, don't criticize. Now that makes a whole lot more sense now, doesn't it?
he knew the shitstorm that was fucking brewing, and he's
Yes.
trying to get people to just be fans and not. And if they're, and if you know you're a fan, you can't not like something you're watching, and you got to shut up about it. So he was trying to prepare people, and we didn't even know it because holy shit.
Which Dwayne with Dwayne and Travis Scott, the one thing I'll say about Triple H and all this, the moment I knew Dwayne was not going to be there, I'm pulling Travis Scott. I'm sorry. We
I'm
we
like,
just
yeah,
we're doing it without you. You will not be here unless your boy is here because there's no use for
all
you unless Dwayne is here to advocate for you. We're pulling you because this is gonna make no sense and all it's gonna do is piss people off.
it's just gonna make people think about The Rock, and he's not there, so you're not gonna be there either. Simple as fucking that. Why would you book that ending the way you did with Travis Scott coming out there so slow and so whatever? You're thinking is, oh, The Rock, he's about to come out. Oh, it's The Rock. Nope, nothing. You didn't give us nothing.
Our boy that we watch the pay-per-views with, what was the
Hmm.
number one thing out of his mouth after Travis Scott came out? Get,
Rock,
where's the final boss? We're about to get the final boss. Here he comes. And he never fucking came.
nope. Never came. He's fucking driving around Hawaii, fucking posting Instagram stories. That's
He
what he's fucking doing that night.
he literally said on the Pat McAfee show, I was sitting on my couch in Hawaii watching the show as a fan.
So you're not busy. That's the also you're not busy that night.
What the
So fucking
fuck?
you have the super private jet. I'm sure you fucking do. Fly over, stand there for 10, 20 minutes in the ring for a fucking night, and then fly back home, dude. What is the deal? Ugh, I don't get it. I don't fucking understand.
So, The Rock also claims he would have done things differently when it came to the
Right?
WrestleMania 40 main event. I loved the finish of the match. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. I was surprised to see Travis Scott as well. The moment I saw Travis, it immediately amplified, here comes the final boss. They were waiting. I love John Cena, heel champion. He's the GOAT. He says he's going to ruin wrestling. Some parts of it I would have just adjusted.
Dog. He literally just said, "Oh yeah, Travis, I think of the final boss," as he's sitting on his fucking couch, dog. And way to undermine Triple H. People really like that, and I would have done it differently. But what is the deal with just undermining Triple H when none of this is really a little bit, but most of it is Ari and The Rock being dumbasses.
Yes. Again, if I was Triple H, and this is what I will blame Triple H for, at some point you
You
just
got
gotta
to.
not give a shit. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but at the end of the day, you just have to not give a shit. And if fucking something happens to you, well, the fans will have your back. I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I mean, because imagine if you do something stupid. I mean, what are they gonna do to you? Fire you? Boy,
They're
that
you.
that that'll do real good for the company at that point. I mean seriously. I mean, what
Yeah.
realistically, what are they are not going to fire you at some point. You have to say, okay, The Rock's not here. Well, then we're not putting Travis Scott out there because well, all this is going to do, like The Rock says, is amplify here comes the final boss. And if you knew that wasn't the case, and if you knew how everything was going to turn out, then why did you do it?
Literally, like Triple H, dog. You trust me, dog. You're safe. You are their creative and fan interest Lifeline. If
Yes.
we read the story, Triple H gets fired, you know the morale drop within the
Oh,
company and from the
come on.
fans that would be it would be immeasurable. They would lose all momentum they have currently.
Yeah.
All of it. It's
Yes.
gone instantly.
Yep.
You are untouchable in your status, Triple H. Just swing it around, bro.
Pull
Tell
the plug,
Travis,
bro.
no, you're not
Yes.
exactly. Like, come on.
I I don't get it. And again, The Rock out there talking about his creative stance. Well, motherfucker, how about you just watch the show as a fan
Yeah.
and shut
Just
up?
watch the show.
And if you want to be involved because you wanted to take part ownership of the company, you should have fucking been there and got off your fucking couch. I mean, again, if you
Right.
wanted to have that big of a part, then you should have made it enough of a priority to show up. Uh, I don't get it.
I don't understand.
And this is what this is just what makes me bang my fucking head on the table. Dave Meltzer decided to flex on
The
us
goat.
all here.
He should. Uncle Dave.
The Rock not appearing at WrestleMania 41 has reportedly been the plan since late August. He says one time I was actually told this. If you really want him there at WrestleMania, essentially go in there and report that he's absolutely not coming because he might get so mad that he'll come. People
I
expected
fucking love him.
people expected at the end of the people expected the day of the show. In the end, he would probably show up because it's WrestleMania, but he never at any point was scheduled to be on the show. It went back to August or maybe even earlier when he said he was not doing Mania this year. Not just not wrestling, he was not doing the show. Then why the fuck, when Dave reported it, why did The Rock go out there and claim it was bullshit? What? Why would you say that then?
You
Dave,
know you're not
go ahead, bro.
you know you're not gonna be there. So why with a just ignore the report. Ignoring it, will be better because it goes to show, he ignored it. So either, he could or he couldn't show up, but he completely ignored it, so we don't know. You literally went out here and responded to a report saying he's not gonna be there, that he was wrong. So if any person that knows the English language would read that, would say, "Oh, that means he's gonna be there." And he wasn't fucking there, and he knew he wasn't gonna be there. Dog, why would you do that?
To reveal he was sitting on his couch.
But,
I mean, are we actually
like,
serious right now, bro?
I'd be so much less mad if he just even lied and said, I was in the middle of shooting that night. It was a night of a lot of shooting. Okay, you're shooting a movie. Okay, dog, you're gonna say that you're busy, and then you're just sitting on the fucking couch. And you're gonna say you're just sitting on the couch.
Again,
Yeah,
I know he has transportation. I
he,
know he has transportation that can get him from Hawaii to Las Vegas as soon as I can snap my fingers. I'm sure he can have a
right.
jet fired up and ready to fucking go. To, like you said, not even go out there and wrestle, to fucking
You're
stand
standing
there.
there. You're standing there in your fucking Louis vest, just standing there. Fucking, you might slap somebody with a weight belt, and that's it. Like, dog, what
Come
the
on,
fuck?
man. Dave Meltzer, for once, is actually owed a fucking apology here.
He is. He was right the whole time. Dave
Because
Meltzer was right.
he was fucking right, and The Rock came out, claimed he was wrong, but then proceeded to prove him right. So now I ask, you weren't planned to be there since August. I'll ask again, why did you not tell Ari? Maybe I shouldn't show up at Elimination Chamber. But dude, you got everybody to terms with the fact, okay, The Rock's not going to be at WrestleMania season. Then, that one
Mhm.
Thursday, we get the graphic. The final boss returns tomorrow. Just to get everybody excited, show up at Elimination Chamber, and then not follow through to WrestleMania. But let's go back even before that. Why the fuck were you at Bad Blood? Why?
Why? That one is the one that always get why? What was that for? Why did that happen? Please explain that to me.
You're gonna show up in the middle of or in the beginning of fall, make everybody think, oh my god, is he aligned? Is he pulling the strings behind Solo's bloodline? Show up during their match, after their match, and do nothing. And
Never,
then
never.
you say and then in January to say you're 20 steps ahead of everybody, but really you're 20 steps behind, sitting on your fucking couch? Really? Just just
Fucking
shut up next time,
no.
dude. At that point, you don't have a
Just
plan.
you don't have a plan at fucking all.
You don't have a plan. You just like to say shit so you sound like you're 20 steps ahead of everybody. At that point,
Literally.
what the fuck? So, according to Fightful, a longtime WWE talent spoken to said that the roster always loves seeing The Rock at the shows, but noted the card is at the mercy of Dwayne. And that is comment from a top talent last year. Comments from a top talent last year was something that they believe pulls The Rock in both ways. Again, this goes back to us saying, he needs to be more clear with Triple H. Are you doing it
Mhm.
or are you not? Are you committing or are you not committing? Do you have why do you have one foot in the fucking grave and one foot out? You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah, like,
what are you doing? And again, it should not be like this, because if Triple H has a plan, he should not have to work around your off the whim bullshit constantly and just
yeah.
fuck everything up for the guy.
Because not only you have that, but now we learned, you have the factor of Ari Emanuel. If tickets aren't good, instead of going to Triple H and asking, what's up, even though you know that's not the problem, you just go straight to Dwayne and throw a wrench in his whole plans. So thanks. Thanks for all of that.
Fuck, man. So, get this. According to Fightful, one person spoken to claimed The Rock did not want to be seen as interfering with the WrestleMania 41 plans like last year, but possibly didn't understand how integral he would be to the story.
Motherfucker, you went out there
You
and, and, and you were the main cause of the heel turn for Cena at that time. Obviously, kind of throughout the build, they kind of retroactively changed that by with what Cena was saying. But like at that moment, it was all about him. It was literally all about Rock and Cena, the pairing of those two, the heel turn. What do you mean you're gonna try? You, The
dude,
Rock.
what
It's
do
it's
you
it's
mean you didn't understand how integral you'd be to the story? You were out there asking specifically for someone's soul. And then the guy that ended up giving you his soul, I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. I think he just said the shit to sound cool. I want your soul. I'm the
Well,
final fucking boss. The guy who ended up giving you his soul just so happens to be a guy that nobody would ever thought would have fucking turned heel. And he turned
yeah,
heel
you did
to align
you
himself
did
with
the
you.
the fabled cryptic John Cena heel turn centered with you, and you don't think people are gonna think you're involved. Like I said, and they literally had to retroactively change that with all those Cena promos and what they had turned the Cena heel character into, because they knew no Rock. So we had that moment where the heel turn itself was around the Rock, but we're gonna in the coming months we'll have to change that slowly with what Cena says, because there's no mention of the Rock. Because why would there be? He's not involved.
I urge Dwayne to not fully commit to any one of his Hollywood gigs and see how well that gets over for him. So
Yep.
why do you think it's okay for you to do that here? Like what? Yeah, let
I
me let me star in this in this mob movie that takes place in Hawaii. But I'll only film a couple scenes, even though I'm a main fucking character in the movie. Let me just film some scenes. Some of these I'm not gonna do. I'll come back a little bit in the middle of the movie, and then I just won't show up at the end of the movie, and give a final stance on my character. I mean,
mhm.
let me just do that. See how fucking well that works out for you. And it won't. So why is it okay for you to do it here? Such a shitty way of going about the fucking business, man. Such a shitty fucking way of going about creative. Let's just undermine everybody for The Rock to make a meaningless fucking cameo at the end of the day. And I shouldn't say it's a meaningless fucking cameo because it's a John Cena heel turn.
He involved himself in the John Cena heel turn, and now it's retroactively meaningless to all of it. Like, dog.
What's crazy too is if this stuff didn't happen, all that stuff with Cody at Netflix, the first Netflix Raw, would have just
Mhm.
been meaningless, just friendly banter.
Yeah,
They just would have been
yeah,
cool.
exactly. If he never got that call by Ari Man at that time that all that took place, that was the genuine consensus with The Rock of just, yeah, we kind of planned all this, but we're not gonna do it, so let's just squash it all in one promo and then just dap up. That was the idea at the time. Holy hell.
Eh,
Don't let The Rock book.
eh,
Please don't.
yeah, he clearly doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and the only person he looks out for in his creative process, quite literally, is just himself.
Himself, whatever makes him look good. And, if he might want to do some at the time, a year comes, he don't want to do it no more. So, let's just drop it. God damn.
Well, he didn't know how integral he would be to the story. Nice fucking excuse. Nice.
Nice.
John Cena. Speaking of the John Cena heel turn, according to Uncle Dave, John Cena reportedly decided his heel turn should happen at Elimination Chamber rather than at WrestleMania 41. You know, the Elimination Chamber turn was awesome, but
It was.
with the ending they gave us at WrestleMania, and with Travis Scott being the only one to interfere in said decision, it kind of makes me think you should have did what we originally predicted and just did it
And,
then.
and even you could have still had, they wanted The Rock to show up, whatever. Instead of doing it there, you could have just like alluded to it, or even in a way we don't know until the turn,
Yeah.
allude to it. And then it'll be like, oh shit, The Rock knew. It's not that The Rock was involved. Oh, The Rock knew and we didn't even know it. That would have been cool. But no, you decide to do it then, and then you have nothing then planned for the main event of WrestleMania, because that was your plan for the main event of WrestleMania, and you took that and you did it early, and now you have no major ending event for night two of WrestleMania. Good Lord.
He says, obviously, there was the decision. about John Cena on the day of the show, whether the turn was going to be that day or whether they were going to save the turn for WrestleMania. That was John Cena's decision. He made the call to do it. Levesque makes the final call, but Cena was the one. The decision came up within the last couple of days. If you remember the day of the show, the segment with Dwayne was originally going to be the first or second segment on the show. It was not going to be after. It was not going to be after the Chamber match. That's because they were not going to do the turn that night. The turn was going to be at Mania, and then John wanted to do the turn that night, so they moved the segment to the end of the show.
H, you're the boss. I know he's John Cena. Tell him no. Tell him it's going to be better if we do it at WrestleMania.
Especially if they knew The Rock would
They
not
knew
show up.
like, dog, you're not thinking, bruh. And all the fan backlash, you could have avoided every bit of it, and you didn't.
Yep.
Purposely, you didn't. It's your fault. It's all your guys' fault.
It is. It is.
It's a collective, the biggest collective fuck up I've ever seen in my life. How does everyone do something wrong to help snowball this to make it worse?
Man. Yeah. And according to Corey Hayes of I think Fightful, there's reportedly been a pitch for John Cena and Travis Scott to work a tag team match at some point in the future.
If you waste, well, how many dates was it at Raw
27.
27? Yep, if you waste one of the 27 dates, which isn't a lot, on a Travis Scott tag team match, I swear to God. Like, The Rock isn't involved anymore. Why is Travis Scott still involved? If you drop The Rock, drop Travis. It's that fucking simple. Why is he involved in the John Cena heel turn? What the fuck? This is looking back at old WCW footage and looking at fucking Chucky on screen. Like, bro, what type of shit are you putting on?
And to snowball this into something even more interesting, the theory is that Bad Bunny will be involved in the John Cena and Travis Scott tag team match.
Well, why?
So a part of John Cena's farewell tour, we're having him do celebrity matches. Are you fucking serious? Are you actually, you better have some shit planned for the end of this, because is this the fucking farewell tour?
At this point, you shouldn't even told us it was the farewell tour until it was over. Because now we're looking at it and we expect greatness. Not even just
What
great,
the
we expect people, big names in wrestling that we want to see him stare at one last time. Not fucking Travis Scott and Bad fucking Bunny.
I mean, look, man, Bad Bunny was good, and
What
and
is
he and he can go on and do, I know they have a match with Dominic they wanted to do, or it was something that, or was a leak for the original 41 plans, and that's fine. Do shit like that. John Cena's farewell tour, there's ideas for him to fucking team with Travis Scott. You have got to be kidding me. You have actually. We expected CM Punk, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns. I mean, you fucking name it. You name it.
much people?
Joe Hendry, all Braun Breaker, Seth. I don't fucking, all these different names, and you have an idea to put him against, or put him with, Travis fucking Scott. You are going to waste a John Cena farewell tour match on a match with Travis Scott. You are we fucking are we this fucking slow, man? I mean, are
I
you
think so.
kidding me? Are you
I think they
fucking
are.
kidding me?
Good Lord.
What the man? I wanted to fucking see Cena versus Fatu, Cena versus all these different names, and we're throwing around a tag team match with Travis Scott looking across the ring from Bad fucking Bunny. Who's gonna team with Bad Bunny? What are you gonna tell me next? His partner's gonna be Damian Priest? What are you gonna tell me next? I mean, at this fucking point, you better have some crazy shit planned for the end of the year. Because holy fuck, this is your idea of a farewell tour for John Cena, the greatest to ever
Greatest
do it.
fucking hell.
Legitimately, the greatest
Hmm.
to ever fucking do it. And there's a
And you
lot of
have
names in that conversation. Austin, Rock, Flair, fucking Hogan, Triple H, Michael, the greatest of all time. This is the GOAT. And this is what
and
you have in mind.
how many of those people do you get to have to know when
Yes.
he's gonna retire, to have his retirement run set up? God, Austin didn't really get that. Dude, how many people don't get that? You have the rare opportunity that someone's gonna retire where you could plan that whole last year and you didn't do it properly. Good Lord.
Look at guys like Austin, Triple H, guys, Undertaker. You know what I mean? At the time, when they all wrestled their last match, we didn't know it. We
Yeah, we
didn't
never
know
knew
it.
it. Mm-hmm.
What a joke.
Good
What a fucking
Lord.
joke. Now, this leads us to the guy standing across the ring from John Cena at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes. On the Pat McAfee show, The Rock says he was advocating for Cody Rhodes to turn heel, not soon, but down the line. What the fuck? Get off
Thank
the fucking Pat
thank you.
McAfee show, bro. Get off the Pat McAfee show. Why must you break down kayfabe? And I know kayfabe is dead. Okay, it is. Why must you? This is thank you. Thanks, Rock.
I I don't want to know and be told by someone who's in the creative process that they're planning on turning someone heel. I don't want you to. I want you to show that in character teases, on screen teases, things we don't know yet that we'll retroactively know when it happens. Those type of things. Why are you just saying it? Just man, imagine Marvel in an interview before fucking Infinity War. Yeah, we're planning on, having Thanos win this one. A lot of them are gonna die. But we'll fix it all in the next one. Don't worry. It's gonna be a great story. You guys are gonna love it. Thanks. Thanks for fucking spoiling that. Like, why would
What
you do that?
the man? Down the line, I like the idea of that. And this idea, is way down the road. You give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, but his soul. And what that means, that affects generations. Why are you telling us this? Why
Don't
don't you
tell us
just
this.
tease this? Like Sir K said, look, and Cody already, they've put building blocks in place for a great Cody Rhodes heel turn. You look at all the people that turn on him, or all the asshole decisions he makes that pisses his friends off. All of this stuff is building blocks for a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Why are you telling us this? Let it play out. What the fuck? And so Meltzer further elaborates on this. He says, I was told turning Cody heel is not the plan right now. Thanks, Dave. The Rock
Thanks.
literally just said, not soon, but down the line. It
He
could
needs to get
happen.
something right.
He says
It
it could.
could happen.
Yeah, yes. It could happen, but The Rock could probably enforce it. But nobody is under the impression that that is where they're going right now. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for your expertise. But I think The Rock already told us not soon,
There you
but
go.
down the line. Thanks,
Thanks.
Rock. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. You know, hey, yeah, well, there was the element of mystery. You know, maybe it could happen at any time. Nope. I know it's going to be down the line now
Yep.
because you fucking told me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Rock. Thank you. With that, um, yeah, that is the news on Cody Rhodes and his heel turn, John Cena and his heel turn. It is also worth noting Cody Rhodes is at Disney World and he will not be on SmackDown tonight despite being advertised. Well, with the next thing we're going to talk about, I think that's reasonable. Just because
Yeah.
you have another feud, you're kind of obviously started with Cena,
Yeah. Nope.
so I
Yeah.
mean it's okay for Cody to. I mean he just lost the WWE Championship. You could see his face in the thumbnail. I mean he was sad as fuck. You know what I mean?
And
He needs Mickey Mouse to make him more happy, man. So
exactly, he needs Mickey Mouse. And usually people losing their title at WrestleMania usually always means to me
yeah,
some sort of at least mini vacation.
for
So
sure.
I'm not shocked about at all.
Yeah, I mean he deserves it. He won a whole year as champion. I mean he can get a little. I mean it's not going to kill anybody for him not to
He's
be
not
at SmackDown.
he's not taking a Roman vacation where it's more vacation than work, but
Well,
but
it's flipped this year, man. Roman's right back to
Roman's
work, bro.
here.
He's feuding with
His
Evolution.
PTO. He thought his
He
PTO was about to reset, man. It
he ran
didn't.
out.
So, you know, he ran out of that shit. FMLA, he's got none of it. So he's at work, bro.
He was trying to call off, bro, but bro don't got no more sick time. He had to show up this year.
He really had to show up this year, man. But
He was going all out.
good.
He took his shirt off and everything. Normally he
That's how
just
you
goes
know.
out there, hair still in a bun by the end of the promo. Nope. He was fucked up Monday. Shirt
Really,
off, hair down, beat the fuck up. This is unusual for Roman, man.
I'm sure he's not used to actually showering after his segments because he used to never have to do it because he
Yeah,
would just
never
stand there,
sweats. Yep.
cut his promo, and then dip out. Man was living good.
So, yeah, that is that. So Cody will be getting some time off, man. And before we get on to the next piece of news that correlates with Cody Rhodes not being on Friday Night SmackDown, we got an official word from the official sponsor of NHP, W Energy. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W Energy is a clean formula that is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W Energy products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase. As always, thank you to the great people over at W Energy for being the official sponsor of what we do over here at NHP.
Really, always got to shout out W, whether it's work, workout, or reading all these stories, wondering why The Rock and Ari Emanuel and Triple H and John Cena would all do this the way they did. If you got to stay up and you got to think about it like we did, try W. It'll keep you up. It'll keep you jitterless, and it'll taste good all at the same time.
There you go. There you go. As always, shout out to the official sponsor of the Notorious podcast, W Energy. So, going back to what we were kind of just talking about, Cody Rhodes will not be at SmackDown because, according to WrestleVotes, WWE will be billing John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash 2025 as one last time. I'm already seeing the everybody's going to love this match until the bell rings. It's not going to be a clinic. I'm telling you
That
right now,
is,
this match is probably going to be rather boring. Shut up.
yeah,
This year is
it's
nostalgia for John Cena. Shut the fuck up, please.
it's not about the matches. It's about the moments, the stare downs, the stories, the interactions, the nostalgia. That's what this is about. You
People,
people, please be realistic.
how many times do we get to go into something and say, this is the last time we're going to get to see a multitude of things? Like, for example, how many times do we get to say, man, this is John Cena's last Royal Rumble? This is the last time we will hear the trumpets after the siren. After the Royal Rumble siren, the countdown siren goes off. Hey, this is the last time John Cena is going to be entering one of these pods. Hey, this is the last time John Cena is going to be walking out on a WrestleMania stage. Hey, this is the last time John Cena is going to be wrestling Randy Orton. We're getting all of this year. Yet, all people seem to be worried about is, can John Cena put on a fucking clinic? No!
Oh,
That's why there's a farewell tour!
that's whole reason there's a farewell tour. It is because he knows he can't go like he used to, and instead of being one of those guys that's gonna be there when he's fucking old and he can't really wrestle and kind of fuck up his legacy, he wants one last hoorah goodbye. Nice and simple. That
And
is
I,
why we have the tour in the first place.
yes, I'm not even saying, I'm not even saying like, these are the point of his matches. I believe these are not the point of
No,
his matches. I believe he wants to
it's
go
true.
out there and tear it up, but he just
He can't.
can't. That's why, and I'm not using
It's
that as an
okay.
excuse, but like, that's why there's a farewell tour. So do not expect not one banger out of this man until we get to maybe AJ or Punk.
Yep. Exactly. Literally, Logan says Cena said he lost a step, which is why he's leaving. That is right. That is also on screen why he turned heel. He lost his step.
Because he's
He
got to
can't
cheat
go.
now.
He's got to cheat. They
So
told you this.
he says, because Logan put in the very early, the first chat on here, he says, there is a lot of people trying to say that, what does he say here? He says John Cena is putting on terrible, boring matches and making terrible TV because he is trying to ruin wrestling. There's a lot of people that are of that frame of mind. I don't think he's genuinely going out there, and you people honestly make yourself sound like fools by saying, well, John is purposely putting on a boring match because he's here to ruin wrestling. That's not what he's talking
No,
about. When he said he was here to ruin wrestling, he's going to take the fucking championship and retire with it. That's what he said.
that's
He
what he
didn't
meant.
he didn't say he was going to go out there and put on fucking stinkers for the better half of the next 8 months. No, I believe he's trying to go out there and put on a banger. He can't do it. That's why there's a farewell tour. So everybody's sitting here saying, Orton and Cena's gonna suck. I don't want to see it. What do you want to see John Cena do during the farewell tour? Please fucking tell me. Please, I will
Stand
sit
there for
here. What do you want him to do? I want to see a fucking Orton match. Is the match probably going to be rather fucking boring? Probably fucking
yeah,
blee. But how many times do
that's
we get to
okay.
look at a situation and say, damn, this is the last time we're going to see John Cena and Randy Orton, two guys that have been storied rivals throughout their whole career. This is the last time we're going to get to see that. Not many times. Not many times are we going to get to see that with top level guys. So shut the hell up and fucking take the pill of nostalgia because it's John Cena's last year. And I'm going to be saying this all year because every time we
Yep.
see a match, everybody's going to be like, well, this John Cena match is going to suck. That is why there's a fucking farewell tour. Because he can't go anymore. And this is the last fucking year. He's willing to free up, if you can call it that, free up his schedule to go to as many dates as he possibly can because he can't fucking go anymore and he wants to give everybody one last chance to see him.
It's that fucking
Fuck.
simple. Good God.
John Cena versus Randy Orton is going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. It's going to be the last time we get to see two fucking legends that are two just insane rivals with each other in the ring for the last time, and it's going to be marketed as one last time. It sucks that they decided to do Backlash in St. Louis, because I would have kind of liked this down the stretch a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would have liked this a little bit towards the end, not so much the beginning half of the farewell tour, but it is what it is, and there is a lot more great stuff we do have for the end of the year. But regardless, one last time, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be emotional. It's not going to be a clinic, but it's going to be fucking awesome. And to quote Triple H, shut the fuck up and be a fan, please. Take your nostalgic pill and shut up.
Literally.
Okay. So all right. You guys are gonna hear that rant a lot this year. The way things are moving, I can already tell that is not gonna be. This is the first of many that I'm gonna have to fucking say that. But regardless, what next? Well, WrestleMania. Let's keep on the idea of WrestleMania here. So, according to Andrew Baydala, WWE is seemingly looking to bring WrestleMania back to Las Vegas, Nevada within the next 3 to 5 years. The company was extremely pleased with the entire weekend and truly felt this was an ideal location for the event. I said this to you guys in private, but I think this Las Vegas, being with just the idea of how much UFC runs out of Las Vegas, we see WWE go back to New Orleans a lot. I think Las Vegas is going to turn into the new New Orleans if this report is true. And I could very well see WWE going back there quite frequently, which I personally am not a fan of, but I mean, if it worked, then I mean, I could see why they did it. I'm not really a fan of too repetitive of locations, but I mean, Vegas is always going to be a cool theme. You always have that to lean on. Similar to how, New Orleans, I mean, Mardi Gras is a cool theme. I just am one of the, if you're going to, for WrestleMania, you need to give locations at least 10 years before you revisit them. That's just me, though. But again, that's just me wanting fresh locations, but I could very well see this being the case.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I really wouldn't be shocked. They love Vegas. TKO loves Vegas, and Vegas loves them. And I think it makes all the sense. I think it is going to be the New Orleans. And I think it is a little more malleable in terms of themes than New Orleans. So if we're going to have to get, the every 3 to 5 year location, I would rather it be Vegas than New Orleans. I don't want one in general. Like you said, I think they should, wait at least like 10 years between each location to do a repeat. But if that's the case, I think Vegas is a little more malleable. You could lead more into gambling theme. You could do a desert thing. You could do a little more than you can in New Orleans, I think. So,
Yeah,
although I don't like it, I think I'll rather take it than New Orleans overall.
for sure. For sure. Hunter says, give us WrestleMania Chicago. Well, when the Bears build their new stadium, whenever and wherever that may be, it
Yeah.
is going to be indoor, which will definitely,
Yeah.
and I know WWE is going to jump on that because I know the NFL wants to jump on that for a Super Bowl. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, I think for sure, we see a WrestleMania Chicago, but I certainly hope so, man, and I certainly hope the fucking the ticket price market crashes around that time as well. So,
God, I fucking hope so.
speaking of WrestleMania and speaking of return locations, we have an update on Orlando. We have an update on the Orlando WrestleMania. So, If I could find it. Here we are. Okay. According to the Sports Business Journal, Orlando, Florida is reportedly looking to make a bid for a future WWE WrestleMania. The Orange County Commission has reportedly approved 29.46 million in tourist development tax sports incentive funds, with 18 million of it going to the Sports Commission to draw four events from WWE and UFC, including WrestleMania 2031.
Yeah.
WrestleMania has previously WrestleMania has previously visited Orlando for WrestleMania 24 and 33 in 2008 and 2017, respectively. According to the president and CEO of the Greater Orlando Sports Commission, the city is also looking to bring in a Survivor Series or Saturday night's main event in 2026, a UFC event in 2027, and a Royal Rumble in February 2028. So it looks like their money or their bid has gotten approved. So the last thing we heard is the last thing we heard about the Orlando Mania situation was that or the Orlando, I guess, 4 event situation for WWE and UFC. The last thing we heard was that they put in a bid for it to get accepted, and it did get approved. So looks like they're getting the wheels further moving on this, which the last time they will have went to Orlando was in 2017. Going back in 2031 seems pretty
Pretty
plausible for
reasonable.
WrestleMania,
Yeah.
I would
That
say.
one I'm fine with. Even if it was like in the next 2 years or something, it's still
Yeah,
like it'll be about 10 years at that point. So that I'm cool with, which is crazy. But overall, man, I'm cool with this one and very curious to see what they would do at the time then for a theme.
definitely. I don't know if it would be a little repetitive, but I thought the amusement park roller coaster theme worked great, and I thought that opened up a lot of opportunities for the stage, being that God, that stage was, man, that stage was fucking
It's
beautiful.
perfect. Perfect. Best one ever, my opinion.
Absolutely. It's and if it's not the best one ever, it's definitely up there for sure. But I would probably say that's probably my favorite stage of all time as well. That Mania
Oh,
33
most
one.
definitely. Yeah,
39 was pretty close, and 42 or 41 was pretty cool as well.
it was really
Uh,
cool.
so
Hmm.
speaking of WrestleMania 42, actually, WWE is looking into change plans for WrestleMania 42, as according to Brian Alvarez, he reported on Wrestling Observer Live. He says it didn't go unnoticed by WWE that the crowd was said to be tired and lethargic at NXT's Tuesday show. However, WWE are considering dropping the post stand and deliver edition of NXT from WrestleMania weekend and just continuing to tape the show at the Performance Center.
No way. Fifth show in and they're tired? No fucking
He,
way.
he says it didn't go unnoticed by WWE. It appears that the NXT it appears that next year when they do WrestleMania in New Orleans it's probably not gonna last through NXT. NXT is probably gonna be back at the Performance Center. There is some thought of running. Oh God, I clicked off of it. Hold on. There is some thought of running NXT. There is some thought of running the NXT before WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans. I wonder why.
Yeah.
They're probably about 6 shows in at this point, and they are probably about $45,000 to $50,000 in the hole after this
Yeah.
point. No wonder why they are fucking tired and lethargic They probably
Mm,
just spent half of their life earnings on your
going
weekend extravaganza.
literally, man. SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, Raw, NXT.
Seven
What,
fucking shows.
7 shows
Not to
in a week.
mention WWE World.
Yeah, all the times you went to that probably every day just to see, or at least 2 of those days probably. So what, 9 things to go to over that weekend? Holy hell, no wonder they're tired.
Your
Good
hotel,
lord.
your merch. I mean, again, you are probably about $45 to $50,000 deep, and depending on what tickets you got, you may very well be damn near almost 100K deep in money spent on WrestleMania weekend. God.
Mm,
Um, if that's something that works for the people that are in the crowd, then they should probably look into doing that for sure.
almost definitely.
Now, speaking of NXT, we have some news on some potential call ups. So, according to Corey Hayes of BodySlam.net. Oh, he's from BodySlam. I thought he was from Fightful. Okay, never mind. Well, the report earlier from Corey Hayes is he's from BodySlam.net. He says there have been talks within WWE about Trick Williams moving to the main roster. He is expected to be called up to either Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh shit. Where else is there to be called up to?
Where the fuck else would he go? I mean, what is he gonna? Is he gonna get called up to LFG? Or is he gonna get called up to Speed? Obvious fuckingly.
Mm,
Lola Vice is also under consideration for a main roster call up as well. Another name that is been considered as well is Tony D'Angelo. I literally just said on Monday, I
I
don't
think he's
think they would possibly call him up.
well, and
I
now they must have read that and out of spite want to call him up.
Trick Williams, not Cora Jade. Trick Williams, Lola Vice, and Tony D'Angelo are all considered for a call up. I could see
Very
Trick.
mm-hmm.
I can't. I mean, if you look at how long he's been down there, I could see Tony D'Angelo. I just don't see them having much good creative for him.
Yeah. Half
And I
half the time they don't have good creative people they call up.
and this is coming for somebody who actually really loves Tony D'Angelo. I am
Mhm.
very scared to even think about him being called up. And as for Lola Vice, that honestly is another one that screams call
I
up with
don't
no
get it.
creative to me.
Yeah, like, you have all these women that you could actually do something with that the fans already, like, really like. I like Lola Vice. She seems good,
Mm-hmm.
but you have Julia, you have Stephanie Vacker, you have Sol Ruka. Those are the type of women you
Jordan
should be
Grace.
looking at to call up.
Yep.
Literally. Like, come on.
Yeah, a lot of these names are a bit odd to me. Again, I like all of them. Trick is the only one that really has a chance to survive for me. Like I said, the other two, Tony D'Angelo and Lola Vice, I like them, and I hope they can do good, but those call ups to me just scream call up with no creative. None whatsoever.
Mhm. Most definitely.
So they could do a gimmick change for Tony D'Angelo. They
They
could,
could.
or what they could do is they can have him lessen up on the gimmick. I think his gimmick might be a little too much of a gimmick. I would like to see him be more a little bit of a human being rather than filming a Godfather movie, which is good
Which
stuff.
is dope.
I just don't
Mhm.
think it has much longevity, and I think it has a very low ceiling.
Especially under Triple H, look what he did with the Wyatt Six. They're
Look at what
not
he did
people.
with the
Mhm.
other uh
Yeah.
the other mob type of group in Legato. They were dead on
Yeah.
arrival. He fucking and
Yeah.
the D'Angelo family is not even really a thing anymore. I mean, they Stacks just turned on Tony D. So, I mean, what you call him up as a solo act, and I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I could see Lola Vice's push getting stalled when Julia and Vacker arrive for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it all depends when we get this draft graphic, if we get this draft
Yeah.
graphic, because
Literally.
it all depends how soon they want to do Tony D versus Stacks. But I mean, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, and then too with like Sir K was saying, I think you should be looking at Stephanie Vacker or Julia to have in mind for a call up over Lola Vice. I mean, they just seem more
Yeah.
far along. Lola Vice seems like she could probably have a decent run down in NXT, but the problem is it's very top heavy, right?
It is.
You have the big three of Jordan Grace, Julia, and Stephanie Vacker right now, and I think you should get some of them out of that system. I mean, they've done great, and they but they're so polished, man. They're so polished. They do not
Mhm.
fucking need NXT. Um,
No.
you know, but I would be considering one of them, but okay. I guess Lola Vice is who they have in mind. So these are the three people that are being considered for a call up. All we have to do is wait for this draft graphic now, whenever that shall come.
Mhm.
So, um, well, speaking of somebody in the system, or I guess newly in the system, Kathy Kelly. Yes, the
Mm.
backstage interviewer, Kathy Kelly. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, she has been in the Performance Center, and right now the working idea is for Kathy Kelly to be a manager.
Mm.
Uh, so Kathy Kelly's a very good backstage interviewer. She's actually one of the only backstage interviewers, not one of the only, but she's a very good backstage interviewer. She has a lot of charisma.
Mhm.
She just has personality. Why you would take her away from that is a bit odd, and if she wanted to do it, I question why you would let Kathy Kelly do it, but not Samantha Irvin.
Exa- Two people who are like great at the job they're in, and I get if you want to keep those said people in that job, okay, but you can't just go back and be like, you know what? Yeah, well, we'll think about something. We might use you as a manager. I know they wanted to, but we might do it with you. I don't get that.
Yeah, again, I mean, and I get why they didn't want Samantha to come off, not commentary, ring announcing. I get why they didn't
Mhm.
want her to do that because she was so good. She was such a great ring announcer. Why would you take her away from that, man? She was like the voice of this generation. She was fantastic. And you don't do it for her and actively let her walk out of the company. Just let her walk.
Yeah,
But you do it for
like
Kathy
what?
Kelly. It's a bit odd. And
It is a
it,
bit
it may seem a bit spiteful, man. I don't know.
It does. It kind of does. And it doesn't help the Triple H allegations. That's all I'm gonna say. It
Uh
doesn't help that look. It really doesn't.
yeah. I mean
I
I
don't think
never
it's
really
true,
I never really bought into
but
that,
it
but
doesn't help it.
I could see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess it doesn't help the look for people that do
I do
uh
believe that.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know, man. It just it seems a bit spiteful to me, man. Again,
A little bit.
I get why you didn't want to take Samantha off of ring announcing, but to not do it for Samantha, And then, like I said, on the flip side of it, the craziest part, to let her just walk out of the company, to just resign, or
Crazy to
just
me.
leave, just straight up leave the company, but then do it for Kathy Kelly. I don't know, man. I don't know what Kathy Kelly shows you in a managerial role that Samantha couldn't have, but it
Yeah.
is what it is. I mean, I hope it works out for Kathy Kelly. Um, either way, everything will work itself out, I'm sure. And I don't really know who they could possibly put her with, or I'm not too
I
sure,
have no
but
clue.
it is what it is, and hopefully everything works out.
Hopefully.
So, speaking of another, um, let's see. Actually, going back to shows here for a minute.
Jackie Redman.
My theory is there's not many people that can replace him. That is true. That
That
is
is an element.
yeah, that is definitely true. And I do see what you guys are saying. Kathy is probably a little bit more replaceable than Samantha was, because even though they do have, great ring announcers, there obviously hasn't been one to
Doesn't
fill
hit the same.
Samantha's void, really.
No.
So I definitely do get that aspect. It's just, and it's not even that. To me, what's just crazy is they let Samantha walk. Like, man,
Yeah.
you were willing to let her just walk rather than
With
finding
something.
something to make it work. You just let her walk.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, and I've said before with the Samantha situation, I do get both sides of it. I do get why she wanted to, get off ring announcing and wanted to, try something that she actually wanted to do. But I also do get WWE's point of, why the fuck would we
We
take you off ring announcing? You're the voice of this generation. So,
like
I get it, but it's just it seems a little it just seems a little bogus. It seems a little bogus
it does.
to be honest. We brought this to you guys on Monday, but we're gonna play it again just because this is technically news. Um, Survivor Series. WWE played this on Monday. WWE played this on Monday. They played the official graphic for Survivor Series San Diego, Saturday, November 29th from Petco Park in San Diego, California. So, like I said, we played this one for you guys on Monday. I like the logo. I like the look of it. I'm sure we're going to get the little War Games edition to it very soon. But yeah, it looks nice, man. It looks nice. I actually quite like the logo, and I like that they're bringing it to a baseball park. So, pretty cool.
Definitely, man. I like it. I'm gonna like the vibe, and I can't wait.
For sure. Um, jumping over to some unfortunate injury news. Tama Tonga. Damn,
Damn, this sucks.
this
Especially
really
now.
sucks. Yes. So, Tama Tonga has been written off television by WWE, with the Bloodline member reportedly dealing with an injury. The former WWE Tag Team Champion was attacked by LA Knight on the April 18th edition of SmackDown, with LA Knight slamming Tama's arm in a door to rule him out of being in Jacob Fatu's corner at Mania 41. Per a report from Bodyslam.net, the attack was done to write Tama off TV so he could recuperate from an injury. Whilst the nature of Tama's injury has not been disclosed, it is believed it could be serious enough that it could require surgery. As such, it is unknown how much action Tama will miss. Tama joins his brother Tongaloa on the sidelines, with Tongaloa expected to be back sometime around June after suffering a torn bicep. at the
Damn.
War Games match in 2024. Damn.
That sucks, dude. That fucking sucks. I hope it's a nice, safe, and quick recovery, man. I hope we get those two guys back together at the same time.
Yeah. That could be the one good thing that I guess could come out of this is, we can see them both return. I don't know where their whole story with the bloodline will be at that point, but I will
Hmm.
say the segment that wrote him off television was fucking hilarious. This man
Oh,
Solo is like fake
yeah.
mad and he's like hiding his face trying to check on Tamatanga cuz he's fucking laughing. Solo's just too funny, bro. He's too funny. But the segment was very funny. However, yeah, this definitely does suck, man. Obviously, with one of them being out, now we have the other one being out, and hopefully, um, it is not serious enough to require surgery, and he can just kind of heal up over time. But I wish him the best of luck, and it sucks to see him go out because he is a great part of that Bloodline act, and he is one of the better parts about SmackDown
Oh, most definitely, man. One of the best parts, and hope he could be back as soon as possible, man. But as safely as possible, obviously.
for sure. Rusev. It is being reported by Lana. She has confirmed that Rusev has signed a 2-year deal with the company, and she herself has confirmed that she has signed a Legends deal with the WWE to officially return to the company. Do you think we see her with Rusev, or do you think they keep them apart for now?
I could see them definitely keeping apart for now. I wouldn't be shocked if it eventually happens, but I think for now it's just gonna be Rusev. At least I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same thing, man. I think the same thing. I think Rusev's gonna kind of stick it out by himself for a little bit, and then eventually, I'm sure they'll come up with something to integrate her in. But I think for now, worry about changing his theme song, and then just getting him back to where he needs to be. And I think just that brooding redeemer character Solo is best for him right now.
Most definitely.
But that's a bit strange that he signed a 2-year deal.
2 year 2-year deal is very interesting of a deal, man.
That's that Tony Khan PTSD deal.
It is, man. Um, yeah, it's interesting because it could be more of a test or more of just it's you don't really see a 2-year deal nowadays.
Yeah, you
I
don't.
just can't even explain it. How just it's odd.
Yeah, the only thing I could think, man, is it's probably hard for him to really trust a company. He's
Oh,
had
blame him.
two pretty bad scenarios with obviously the end of his Vince days, and then
Hmm.
his AEW his the end of his AEW to the majority of his AEW days really. It was only really good in the beginning, but um I just don't know what the hell happened, man. Tony Khan, it seemed like he fucking loved the guy and then he fucking hated the guy. I don't know, man. But it sucks, but it does sound to me maybe a little bit like he maybe wanted that because it's hard for him to trust. Tony Khan out here giving motherfuckers trust issues.
Hmm. Oh, he really is, man. PTSD going hard.
It really is. It really is. Well, maybe he could come out to that fucking song. It's better than whatever he's coming out to right now.
I'm
So,
telling you.
speaking of another Raw superstar, Gunther. Gunther, the guy that tapped to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. WWE has announced Gunther is suspended indefinitely following the attack on Michael Cole and Pat McAfee.
Hmm.
Do you think this suspension will last? Where do you think they go with now this suspension angle?
From what I've seen, it's to get him some time off, I guess. So when he comes back, I'm very interested to see how they'll pick it up. Again, this is another thing. It's waiting on if we get a fucking draft graphic or not. Because if we get one, I can see not seeing him until boom, he gets drafted somewhere, and then we'll see him. That's what I could see. But if
Mm.
there is no draft, then I really don't really know overall. But what about you?
With the draft, I obviously think that the draft could not, or the draft could really determine where he goes next. But I don't know if you've been seeing the rumors going around of like WWE wanting to put Drew McIntyre into the world title picture. That
I've
obviously
seen that.
doesn't work with John Cena.
No.
So, but who it does work with is Jey Uso. Dude, oh, quick side note. Have you heard the rumors of Jey Uso's
Mm,
first dog?
yes,
I know you want to
I will.
hone in. Say the name, bro. I want you to
I
say it.
swear to God, if we're tuning into Backlash, and in either the first or like third to last match is Jey Uso versus Logan
Oh
Paul, I'm gonna
God,
lose my goddamn shit.
you don't want to see
That
that?
is gonna be the most stop and start fucking match I've ever seen in my
Im-
goddamn life. Like,
Imagine Logan brings him to a banger. Imagine it
there's
takes Logan Paul.
there's no way. If Logan Paul is the only person to bring this man to a banger at this point of his career, I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit. Because like, uh, what? And I have the same mentality with Jay right now that, kind of I do with Cena when it comes to the matches. A more angrier version of that because with Cena, it's a nostalgic goodbye. I'm okay with the matches being, not bangers. But Jey Uso, dude, at this point, I'm expecting some boring ass stop and start fest.
Yeah,
That's what I'm expecting with Jey Uso.
yeah.
So, but like, you're gonna make it worse by putting him against Logan Paul, someone who is one of the weaker parts of the WrestleMania weekend, whose speciality of, oh, why is he so good at this, is dead in the water. I don't want to fucking see that, dude. I'm sorry.
God. Um. Yeah. That sounds like I will say with that, the match has a
A little
chance.
bit of ranges? Yeah.
The match sounds more intriguing than the build because I'm telling you right now, dude, that build sounds abysmal, dude.
Dude,
Logan
those
Paul and
promos.
and Jey Uso, they've
Oh,
had promo battles together, and it's fucking sucked. It's been
oh.
horrible. So that in a world title program, please shoot me. But
Oh, dude, we're gonna get a Logan Paul. I made Yeet popular before
yes,
you fucking. Oh, dude, please, I do not want that.
please,
Anything but
dude.
this, dude. Anything. I will take.
Ye-
I will take Travis Scott at this point. Than that match, dude. Please.
Yeet was not popular even before Logan Paul. Yeet. I think the first time I heard Yeet was when we were in sixth grade, right? It's
It's
2013.
great. Yeah. Hey, yeah, it's that video of that girl fucking throwing the fucking pop or something,
Yeah,
and that's what she said. That's literally where it comes from. We were in like sixth grade
yeah.
when that shit was a thing.
That was when everybody was wearing those sweatshirts that said "Bitch, don't kill my vibe." You remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had one of
Classic.
those on. I remember fucking everybody. A lot of people that we went to school with at the time, they were fucking making them turn inside out. That was
Turn inside out,
everybody
put my
had those.
tape on the bitch part, something like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Everybody was wearing, and that was literally that was around the time, like, neither one of you guys are responsible for making the word popular. So let's
No,
just get that out of the way. But yeah, that sounds fucking abysmal. Again, the match, although I'm not getting my hopes up for a Jey Uso match. The match sounds better than the build does
it
because
does. That
holy
sounds
shit.
painful. That
Yeah, that
sounds absolutely miserable.
yeah, Triple H is trying to spite somebody with that mess for sure. But
Hmm.
regardless, regardless, like I said, with them with the rumors of Drew McIntyre being inserted back into the title picture, That is something that does not work with John Cena. It just doesn't. They're both heels right now. Cena is feuding with Orton, and I'm sure he's going to go on to feud with somebody not named Drew McIntyre after that. But but who he does make sense going after is Jey Uso. He hates the bloodline. I know once upon a time he was the bloodline hunter, but you know, we just decided to drop that. But it does, that makes a hell of a lot more sense. So with Drew McIntyre going after the world championship, I think it makes a lot of sense for Adam Pearce to, and if Gunther really is getting time off, I think whenever he does come back, I think he fucking attacks him again. And it gives Adam Pearce no choice but to trade, if we don't, assuming we don't get a draft by this point, to trade Gunther over to Friday Night SmackDown and be forced to have to bring back in Drew
Mm.
McIntyre. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I think that
and
makes
then
the most sense.
it even covers up like the commentary beef, Gunther could have because, Wade's a guy who's gonna get in someone's face right back. I don't think he'd really mess with Wade all that much the same way he messes with Pat and Michael Cole. So you kind of still have your way out with that too. Definitely really works.
It definitely does. And two, with Cole and Pat being the commentary duo that sounds like, just two guys talking wrestling, Wade and Joe have more of a professional sound. Like Michael Cole said it
They
himself.
do.
They sound, the two groups sound completely different. So maybe you move Gunther onto there and he gets away from this commentary duo that
Guilty.
he has beef
Mm,
with. So it makes sense.
exactly.
It makes sense. And I
It does.
like that idea personally.
I do. I think he needs to go to SmackDown at this point. Like you said back on Monday, if you get tapped out to Jey Uso, you have to fucking leave the show,
You got
and
to.
that is you have to. There's no other way.
Yeah. I mean it's like it's like is the scene from Spider-Man 1 where the jock
Beat up.
he tries to fight
Hmm.
Peter Parker, and Peter Parker whoops his fucking ass. You got to fucking transfer schools at that point, dude. There's nowhere for you to go. You have no wiggle room. You just have to leave. So, regardless,
Hmm.
Karrion Kross, I will believe this when I see it, and I really hope I can believe this.
Hmm.
According to WrestleVotes, on the Backstage Pass, Karrion Kross is expected to get extended opportunities on TV, with a lot of the members of creative being big fans of his work.
Look at that. Hopefully, it's fucking true.
It,
He's
it
really good.
dude,
Hmm.
it's time, bro. It's time.
He's incredible. He has a great creative mind. He could cut a promo. He's not the biggest match guy, but his matches are fine in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people today in like the past few days on Twitter, like shitting on Cross for his matches, or in the bell rings type of shit. I fucking hate that shit. Unless you're like Jey Uso, but Cross is fine. If he's in there with a good person, it's probably gonna be a pretty good match. If not, it's gonna be a fine match. He's not one of those abysmal guys. So I'm excited and I hope he gets fucking pushed.
I hope so too. Um that promo that he cut on that post show, all these little clips I'm seeing floating around of him just like doing random interviews and stuff. This guy is a fucking stud, and he's clearly trying to prove to the company, he's clearly trying to make himself undeniable. And he's clearly succeeding at it, cuz a lot of people are loving this shit. Of course you have your people that are going to, talk about, his in-ring work or whatever. He's not the worst worker. He's
He's
not the
not.
worst worker in the world. He's actually good, man. Again, he's not one of these fucking bums like Damian Priest. You know what I mean? He's good. He's a good worker, man. He's a good worker. So, and what what matters sometimes more than your work is your connection with the audience. And a lot of people are connecting with his work, and a lot of people are loving his work right now. And with, just with everything that has been going on with him, and just the lack of opportunities that he does get, it is fucking time. People want to see him, and he is a
Mhm.
professional storyteller, bro. And it again, I'll say it again, man, it is time. It's time.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's time. Give him the opportunity. He'll make the fucking most of it, dude. I literally just saw a video earlier today. I guess it was over WrestleMania weekend. He was on the street talking to some dude, and I guess the dude was like wasn't a wrestling fan, and he
Oh
was
yeah,
like asking him what he did. He's like, "Yeah, my name is Roman
I
Reigns."
did see
And
that.
the
Yeah,
dude asked, he's like, "Oh, are you a wrestler?" He goes, "No, I'm a stripper."
yeah.
That shit killed me. That man is hilarious. He's funny. He's serious. He could do it all, dude. Fucking push him, please.
He's great, bro. He's fucking great. All he needs is an opportunity. He has it all. So, moving on to some news about, actually, in pertains to yikes, in pertaining to a group that Mr. Karrion Cross feuded with, the Wyatt
Hmm.
Six. So, here we go. According to PW Insider, Alexa Bliss was in Las Vegas for WrestleMania weekend. She is not hurt. She is just waiting for her creative to kick off.
Why did you bring her back
the,
if you don't have
uh,
creative?
you should have just saved her
Like,
for the SmackDown after WrestleMania at that point.
you literally should. Your Royal Rumble, nothing. It's like, dog, what
Biggest
are
pop.
you doing? And they constantly, dude. WWE always tries to say, we don't sign people if we're not gonna have anything to do with them. We don't call people up
We don't
if we're
bench
not
them.
gonna have anything. They don't bench them.
Benched.
You've benched fucking call ups. You've benched returns. You've benched signings. Dog, what are you doing? Stop initiating the use if you're not going to use them. It's that fucking simple. You got Carmelo Hayes and Melo Don't Miz. Bro,
I
you got
mean that.
Andrade
I mean,
taking his
well,
glasses
whoa,
off
whoa,
every
whoa,
week.
whoa, whoa.
Melo Don't Miz is a slap in the face. It is. It's hilarious, but it's a slap.
Mello don't Miz is, they should be the next tag team champions. I mean, they are realistically one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I mean, let's just be honest.
Melo Don't fucking Miz. What the fuck is that? You got Andrade taking his glasses off every fucking week.
He's good at it.
Do something with these people,
Fi-
please.
You know what they say? Find something you love, find something you're good at it, and do it for the rest of your life. They found something Andrade is good at, taking his glasses
Taking his
off.
fucking glasses off. One of the best, probably in-ring guys they fucking have. They have him taking his fucking glasses off every week. The fuck?
Well, I agree with most of that, obviously, except for the Melodome Miz stuff. I think they're a great tag team, and I think that they're probably one of the greatest tag teams of our generation that Sir K refuses to appreciate. So
I
that's
do.
that.
I will refuse to appreciate that till the end of my life.
It's fucking Melodome Miz, dog. I don't know what the problem is. I don't.
Who I want to know who came up with that. I want to know
Because he
who came
deserves
up
a
with that.
raise. Whoever the
He
fuck
deserves to be fired.
came up with Oz Hiem deserves a raise for sure. But Melodome Miz, one of the greatest tag teams of
It's
all
evil.
time.
It is evil.
But regardless, you know, sometimes Sir K just it's you know it's hard for him to appreciate a great tag team sometimes. In case in point, Melodome
Yep.
Miz. So Alexa Bliss, I don't know I
I
don't
don't.
know what this creative process has been whatsoever, and they're bringing her back to lead with the lead the Wyatt Six. So what the hell is going to happen to Uncle Howdy? Is he just not going to be the leader anymore? There shouldn't even be a fucking Uncle Howdy. There should be a Bo Dallas, first of all. And second of all, what is going to happen to him? What do you mean he's going to lead the group? What the fuck is this group's creative? I mean, I'm
group.
interested to see for sure because this is just also mind-boggling, and I'm interested to see what they do because I want to further dissect it from that point, because at this point I cannot say, because I just truly don't know anymore. I don't know
No,
if this group is going to work with the mindset that they have. It doesn't matter who's leading it. It doesn't matter anything. It matters who's booking it, and who's booking it. Triple H is not doing a fucking good job. And it
no,
sucks, because this group should not just be a tribute faction. This group should be so much more. This group should be
it's
regulars. This group should be a legit faction with a legit superstar, Bo Dallas, that they have on their hands, that they're hiding behind a fucking mask
for no
with a
fucking
wig.
reason, man. A wig, a long ass, white haired Gandalf wig.
Come on, dog. I mean, again, if the creative is still the same, I don't give a shit if Alexa Bliss, I don't give a shit if Triple H, The Rock, Ric Flair, I don't care who's leading the group. It's not going to work with this creative.
It's not. It's just not.
With the creative and the presentation you have for this group, there's such a fucking disconnect, and they refuse to see it because, oh, this is a tribute group. It can be
That's all
so
it is.
much more, and I don't get it. Well, hopefully he should be coming back. I think. I heard, at
Hopefully.
least. The
I
last thing
fucking
we
hope
heard about
so.
Bo was that he was going to be coming back. So, yes. We heard at the beginning of March, Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas has been cleared to return to in-ring action per PWN. They're just waiting for creative. So,
That's a common thing you hear nowadays. Waiting for creative.
I hope the creative mindset is drastically switched. Because it's, again, it's never gonna work the way you're doing it now. And I don't know. It's a sad fucking case, because, like I said, this group can be so much more than a group that just lives off nostalgia of Bray Wyatt. It can be an extension of his legacy, and you're fucking failing at it.
Failing.
The group is running into the same problems Bray did. Shit creative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So with that, Mariah May. This is our last story before we get to the acquisition news. Per WrestleVotes, WWE is prepared to make an outstanding offer for upcoming free agent Mariah May.
Very, very interesting, man, because, back her looked amazing and they didn't give her, a financial outstanding offer. So they must really want Mariah May if they're willing to, if WWE is willing to give an outstanding offer.
Mariah May just seems like a WWE act anyway. I mean, she at times, it's kind of like Tony Storm. At times they almost don't fit in AEW because they're so
There's
fucking
no
good at
story.
being characters and
Yeah.
just telling stories. It's like almost a lot of times they like don't, like, I could say the same thing about like Swerve and Adam Page. Sometimes they just like don't fucking fit there, but that's what makes them so great in AEW, is they're so different because they're driven around stories and
Characters.
characters.
Exactly.
And it makes them great. And Mariah May falls under that category for me as well. So yeah, but
Very interesting. I hope something goes well, man, because she is gonna blow that roster up if she joins them, man. It's gonna be insane.
yeah, she's gonna be great over there, and I'm glad that WWE is actually making a standout offer financially to her, because she deserves it. And she showed you. She walked into AEW for a year and a half, maybe 2 years by the time her contract is up. But the time she was on TV, a year and a
Dude,
half, and has a top 5 company feud in company history. Come on, bro.
if the Hollywood ending is the last time she stepped foot in AEW, that is a legendary shit right there. That is insane.
That was quite literally a Hollywood
The
ending
Holly it was,
because
man,
that was
and she's gonna
fucking
be
epic.
incredible.
We talked
She
about
is.
we talked about great shows. I said earlier Elimination Chamber would probably be my front runner this year. Close behind that
Mhm.
is Revolution, spearheaded by that match because that was
Oh,
so
yeah.
fucking good. So, with all of that, our final news story for today is WWE acquires Lucha Libre promotion AAA. According to Fightful, now this was revealed on the WrestleMania kickoff show, the
Mhm.
pre-show, whatever you want to call it. There had been conversations between WWE and AAA for quite some time. Those spoken to in WWE said while the acquisition was done close to the vest, they believe it was finalized after AEW and CMLL announced their Arena Mexico show.
Ugh,
LOL.
gotta
We
fucking love them.
so with that, Lucha Libre Online initially or stated initially discussions between the two sides began in 2019. Oh my
Damn.
god, could you fucking imagine what Vince would have done with AAA? He would have just closed it.
Yeah, you you just shut it down for no reason.
AAA at the time opted to form a working relationship with All Elite Wrestling rather than sell to WWE. With WWE changing focus and negotiating with CMLL about a potential takeover, the historic Lucha company wanted WWE to take over its real estate holdings as a part of any deal, with with it, assumed the famous Arena Mexico was a part of the portfolio. WWE counter offered for a deal without the real estate holdings, but CMLL stood firm with WWE exiting the talks. WWE and AAA began negotiations once more in 2022 with an agreement reached in 2025 prior to AEW's recent announcement that they are set to run their debut shows in Mexico this summer. Whilst the deal isn't being seen as an while the deal is being seen as an acquisition of AAA by WWE, the arrangement may not be as straightforward as it seems. With the press release noting how Mexican sports and entertainment holdings company Philip are a part of the deal, little is known about Philip. With it assumed that Philip are simply funding AAA. Rather than running the operation, as to who owns it in terms of percentage is unknown, with either TKO or Philip assumed to have majority stake in AAA. And with all of that, according to Cultaholic, according to sources, there have been conversations with WWE about rebranding AAA to WWE NXT Mexico. There is simply one option on the table as WWE considers AAA's future. What do you think about well, before we get to the NXT Mexico thing, just the original part of all this, man. What do you think about WWE originally talking to CMLL, and it seemed like it seemed like if they started talking in 2019, it seemed like AAA sort of sided with AEW, and then they kind of just switched.
Yeah, very interesting. Because I was reading about it because I was curious because apparently, there's that whole beef between AAA and CMML. It's like a legit ass beef. So I could see, out of spite, one of the other ones just wanted to work with them. And it's very interesting, man. But I think it's good for AAA. Obviously, they wanted it. It even came out that it wasn't a financial need for them to sell. They wanted to. They thought it would be best, and I think it will be best. And I think that's a really good thing. And Lucha's really cool. I'm not a big fan of just Lucha, so probably really wouldn't be watching it for me. Um, but I like those individual guys, and I think they could, be very interesting matchups between them and WWE going here and there. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to benefit AAA, and I think it's going to be good at the end of the day. As for the rebranding, I think that's horrible. Do not do that. That'll devalue it so
Yeah.
much. And in a way, you want to keep it its own thing, but owned by you. If you name it NXT Mexico, it's going to feel too much like it's your thing. It's look what Tony Khan did with ROH. He
Yes.
basically made it AEW ROH, and it's fucking ass. If ROH was its own completely separate thing still, just owned by fucking Tony Khan, I think it would have been fine. But he basically made it AEW ROH. That's the killer. I think you would end up having the same result if you fucking did that whole rebrand to NXT Mexico. And look how NXT UK turned out. It was cool at the time. It was, but it's a ceiling. Doing NXT and having it branded to a country is a massive ceiling that you don't want to have. There's still a ceiling, obviously, by a triple A type company, but the ceiling will be way lower if you rename it. So I think it's better if you just keep the name. And overall, I think it's good. You got to keep the name, man. But what about you?
Um yeah, as for the first part of it, man, it is crazy that they were originally talking to CMLL and then like things kind of switched. Um Seemed like maybe AEW maybe got a little fed up with AAA because they were not allowing people to work Forbidden Door because they don't like New Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. So WWE obviously swooped in and bought AAA. I think AAA, from what I hear, again, I'm not too familiar with the product at all, other than the couple times we've seen like the AAA titles on AEW or like Vikingo on
Yeah.
AEW. Not too familiar with it at all. But from what I do hear, they had a lot of problems creatively and they had a lot of problems structurally in the company. So hopefully WWE can swoop in there and fix a lot of those problems and stuff whilst keeping things the same for AAA, and keeping the essence of the company around, because it is one of the bigger promotions in Mexico. It's not the promotion in Mexico. Obviously, we all know that is CMLL, but
Mm-hmm.
AAA is one of the bigger promotions in Mexico, and I think it's important to keep the essence of that, which leads me to NXT Mexico. That's a shit idea. That immediately, like you talk about with the ceiling, you're
Mm-hmm.
essentially telling me right there that this is a third or fourth rate NXT. And the reason I say third or fourth is because we don't know if we're going to end up getting this NXT Europe or NXT this or that, all these different NXT Japan, NXT Australia, NXT Canada. We don't know what we're going to get, but imagine we do. It's just going to be another name to fall in line. It's just going to be another NXT side brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's not good. That's not good at all. I don't think. I think it's important to keep AAA. See, Logan says when they buy New Japan, leave it New Japan. Do we think they're gonna buy New Japan?
Big New Japan is like Tony Khan. I don't think they would sell. I think they're too proud of, their history themselves, and I never see that happening, to be honest.
The reason I ask that is because I do see some of these rumors, and I'm wondering if it stems from The Rock wearing the shirt. Um,
I, I don't think The Rock. I think The Rock was just doing that to just fucking do that. Yeah, I could see them working with a little bit with New Japan and maybe doing, a trade off with some guys here and there. I don't think it'd ever be more than that, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, yeah, I think it's important for WWE to keep the essence of AAA and keep the brand of AAA. You have a lot of equity in the name AAA. I'm sure a lot of people, locals in Mexico are obviously familiar with AAA. So let's keep the essence of that. You know, you talked a little bit about Tony Khan and Ring of Honor. Um Tony Khan, obviously he still called it Ring of Honor, but if you look at the show, it's basically AEW Ring of Honor. What Tony Khan
Mm-hmm.
needed to do was keep the essence of Ring of Honor, keep a lot of the, talents separated, or what Tony really needed to do to just, and not even really about the talents, but he needed somebody to specifically run Ring of Honor. The thing that killed Ring of
Exactly.
Honor was thing that
Tony
killed Ring
Khan.
of Honor was Tony Khan tried to dabble into it, but he can't. And it's impossible for him to, because there's no way you can have all this on your plate. You needed somebody to run that specifically and make it its own thing. They didn't have somebody to do that. The brand died. With WWE, we're hearing a bunch of rumors on a bunch of different people that are going to be in charge of creative for AAA. As long as it's not Triple H or Shawn Michaels, have somebody specifically do it. And I think that that'll be your best way of going about it. And again, that'll be your best way of going about just keeping the essence of the brand and just keeping it what it is, and keeping the equity that you have in that AAA name around. So I think that that's important, and it's quite crazy that it's quite crazy that WWE has been talking to them for so long. And yeah, WWE absolutely did this because AEW and CMLL announced the Grand Slam Mexico show. They wanted to one up them. I'm sure Tony Khan's gonna crack at some point, but I actually do commend him for not going on a Twitter rant or going on any interviews and clapping back. At least not that I have seen.
Yeah,
It's commendable.
same.
Shut up. Let them look stupid. Let them take pot shots at you like they're 4 years old, and just do your own thing, bro. You don't
Do
have
your
to
own thing.
clap back. And I'm very proud of Tony for that, because I'm sure he's gonna crack at some point because he probably can't help himself. But
He will, but
up
he
until
hasn't
this
yet,
point,
so
good on you, good on you. Because again,
exactly.
there's no point in there's no point in responding. I mean, what is gonna happen if you respond? Nothing. So
Nothing.
I mean, it is a good acquisition for WWE. Like I said, I just hope they keep the essence of the brand and don't make it NXT Mexico. Just to, like you said, just make it more of a WWE filtered thing. You
Yeah.
acquired AAA, you know what I mean? So use AAA, okay?
Mhm.
So yeah, that is
Exactly.
that is that. And yeah, they have. Oh, not to mention they have announced a Worlds Collide show for Money in the Bank weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very interesting. Very dope.
Definitely. And that is everything for today. That is going to do it for this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 262, 63
Very
of the news. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Everybody who came out, thank you guys so very much. It has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
That's okay.
Yes. And thank you guys, as always, Kevin, Logan, Bell, Hunter. Thank you guys, Rainmaker. Thank you guys all so very much for joining us here today on this edition of the news. Enjoy your SmackDown after WrestleMania, and hopefully on Monday, which I'm pretty sure on Monday, we will be talking about the WWE return of Aleister Black. So let's
Hey.
fucking go. Hopefully
Mhm.
we got some other cool surprises tonight. Enjoy the show. Thank you guys, as always. Thank you guys so very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all on Monday after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted.
Peace.